Saturday morning.
I don't have my email.
I know. Yeah. I did wake up with a little anxiety this morning and I was like, none of these people are cooperating. They said they were going to.
No.
Yeah, so I just want to, yeah, it's great. And that's from back looking towards East Street.
All right,
Anyways,
you tell me
Are
when.
you all packed up?
It's gonna keep signing until you tell me.
Mr. Clark.
Thing is, I
Good.
Behaving,
I don't
Right.
believe that, but
really. I mean, that's great, but at not.
yeah,
you can
just
believe
don't believe it.
Nobody does.
All right, we're being recorded.
Oh,
Oh,
Here we go.
That's dangerous.
No Nick, so we're
thank
good.
you, Kristen.
I call the order of the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency meeting on March 16th, 2026 at 4:02 PM. Can I get a roll call, please, Ally?
Yes, Brian Campbell,
Here.
Pam Bruno,
here.
Connor McCoy,
Here.
Charlie Tall,
Here.
Melissa Finch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
We have a quorum, we have 7 out of 10.
Great, and you read here package, starting on page 3 is the minutes of the IGA board meeting on February 17th. I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll move that.
Charlie, second.
Second.
Mark, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Motion
Brian
carries.
abstains. He wasn't here. Right?
Well, I would agree with you guys, so.
He watched the video and then he read the minutes at the same time. So
Wow, you guys are close. That's scary.
I'm willing him to.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
All right, moving on.
I-
Treasurer, accounts payable, please. Page 2, and the read ahead for everybody.
All right, so just going through the accounts payable, you'll see on the balance sheet, it's at 77,463. It actually is going to be 120. Do I include that last item yet or no? Yes.
No, because we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, so 122,790 with 4 additions, which includes $255 for LaBella Engineering for additional permit work, 4,500 for Behan Communications for the highlights impact report, 2,500 for the Conti appraisal for the additional appraisals requested for the land value for the separation of the canal side village and towns, and then $125 for the fourth quarter for the Port Edward Village taxes. All other items on there are very standard, so I would request approval of paying it.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the payables with the 4 additions. Dan, second. Melissa, any discussions? Can I get a roll call, please, Ally?
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Pam Bruno,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Year-to-date financial reports, treasurer.
Reviewing the balance sheet, assets remain strong. Overall, balance sheet remains stable, remained higher prior to last year. Month over month, we saw minor increases to our grant reimbursement through HUD and Bass NY, amounting to roughly $51,000 increase to our other current assets. Again, still behind last year. I'm sorry, still ahead of last year in terms of our result of receiving all the QITs receivable from last year. Majority of our cash continues to be in the ICS account, which, just for those who don't know, I'll say one more time. Basically, it is a FDIC insured account, which spreads between many, many banks for $250,000. Last month, it was at 3.47%. This month, it's at 3.44. I would expect us to continue to see it as trend down. It's not a surprise at all with where our rates have been going. So continue to see that going down, which I would say would lead to a further decrease in our interest earned off those accounts year to year. And I will say ICS is set by all banks, so it's not like we go to one bank, they can give us a better rate on that. On the profit and loss statement, we're seeing year-over-year decreases compared to last year as we expected. Again, this is a result of QIT not being there. Largest operating expense for this year, I'll just mention, is this $39,115, which relates to the bridge and detour, which I think everyone here is pretty well versed on. And just to cover a couple of the big pieces that are different prior to last year, it's rail usage fees by QIT, which is $54,000, legal reimbursement, which is $15,000, which again, we don't really have too much control of. And then project fee income from last year was $30,000. So looking forward, I do anticipate that we should be seeing a closing of one of our income. I'm sorry, let me say that. Well, I do anticipate we see some project fee income finally come in around $155,000, which was from our July approval of a pilot for COVID-19 Lodge. We're going to see a favorable swing up in the coming months. So hopefully next month I'm not reading it like we're so far behind, and actually we're making some real progress because that's a nice fee income. Are there any questions about the balance sheet or income statements? As I know I didn't ask it for the accounts payable, so on that as well.
What's our average, is checking now is a very low interest earning, right?
3.44 is a pretty
Checking
solid.
now.
Yes,
Okay,
the
good.
ICS is at 3.44, which that's a solid rate. That's a good
Okay.
rate.
I didn't.
So inside of the checking account, there's analyzed fees that
Yeah,
are
right.
withdrawn from the balance. So
Mhm.
there's a compensating balance that has to be held so you don't get it in fees.
Yeah.
Everything else goes in the ICS.
But checking now is a high interest or anything.
Well,
I'm checking now.
Checking now.
Checking now,
Right.
low and zero interest.
Right.
earning.
Right. So, and
That's
the
why-
analyst fee.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I thought
Yeah.
you meant like now what rate it is. I thought.
So our fees can't be more than 100 or 200 a month.
I don't know what they're.
And I mean, we should probably eat the fees and earn the interest. I mean, that
Mhm.
switched about 3 years ago.
We had another circumstance that came up recently, and we looked into, how much we make off the accounts, and we decided it makes more sense for us to keep money in that ICS than how much we earn. So yeah, I would agree that, like Mark was saying, there's a certain amount that has to sit there for just, to cover everything.
but it's a small percentage of what we have on hand.
I mean, today it's 180, last year it was 428, and it just.
Yeah, I would say between many banks, that's 3.44. The ICS is still a very strong rate. I'd say a lot of banks actually are getting below that on checking.
Oh, sure. I mean, but just that we should keep 5,000 in cash.
Yes,
Not what
we
Are
have.
you gonna get the sweep accounts going, which is what
Yeah, I think until you get really inside of what these look like I don't know if this is where you talk about this.
okay, never mind.
Okay, I'm happy to talk about it. I don't know where you do it though.
We're talking that's the county's ones, right? The municipality one accounts? No, okay.
No,
The idea
start
is-
checking now.
Right.
Anybody can have a sweep account.
No, no,
if the
but-
bank offers it.
So the 180,000 for the checking account we have now, I'm trying to understand. You're saying that that's too much or not enough?
That's way too much.
Right. So for our cash flow, it's still a little bit high, but that's why you can see the 500,000 difference in our ICS money market account from
Mhm.
last year. Every time we push a couple $100,000 once we get to the point. But, we do keep that 180,000 because of cash flow.
Yeah,
Other boards, we use 100,000.
I know what Charlie's referring to.
Yeah.
He's saying just keep 5,000, move it over when you need it and just pay the fees.
Right.
But it's kind of six, one half
Every
dozen on
time,
the other.
every
Either
time
one
we do
will work.
audited bills, we look, see what we're gonna need, we release that amount.
I see it both
But
ways.
No, I see what you're saying. Now, okay, now I understand the vision. Okay. Yes.
And it's $6,000 a year, actually a little more at 180. I don't know where we dip to, where we settle down.
Right.
The other questions that can be asked, I understand what you're looking at now. So I'll
Yeah.
take a note and I can look into that with, you guys later on and we can touch base next month on that.
Very great.
No, that's
Okay.
interesting. But you guys pay all the bills at one time, right?
Right, but I also have a cash forecast. I mean, at home, my own.
Yeah, you know what's coming
I
up.
keep a cash forecast.
You always know what's coming up in a given month,
Right.
30 days out usually.
And if
So-
Then you just pop that in and then
Yeah, you're
2-day
allowed to
notice,
take that out.
if you have an emergency, that's a different, but 2 days is all you need to get the money into that cleared ability to clear a check account.
You get some, it sweeps same day. You can get it instantly.
Oh, okay, yeah, we used ACH, but like, wiring the same day, yeah.
Careful.
Valley check, you guys understand what they're trying to. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Something to look into. Always looking into stuff.
We get 30% of that, right? Per se.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the year-to-date financial reports. Brian, second. Charlie. Get a roll call, please, now.
Ryan Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yeah.
Ryan McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Paul,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch. Yes. Mark Yurtshaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you, treasurer. Moving on to reports for committees, park chair update, please.
Sure. Regarding Canal Side Energy Park, Hewitt has moved out. And they've gotten, most all of their stuff out of, fact, 99% of it. Mr. Barton will get in touch with them and we'll schedule a walkthrough with Mr. Barton, myself, and Representative Hewitt. See what remains. There's a few small items, a couple empty, cable reels and that sort of thing. But we'll take care of that. And with regard to Canal Side, you're all aware of the problem we had with the backflow preventer freezing. That's been remedied now, and Mr. Barton probably expand more on that later on. But so that's been taken care of and it looks good. Our two tenants, current tenants, are still there. SMS Rail, doing pretty good with their grain shipments, unloading, etc. And our electric is there. They leased a small bit, 24,000 square foot building, 20 whatever it is. So I was there today. It looks good. The airport industrial park, I think we're close to disposing of the remaining lots there, and that would be a great thing for anybody who's familiar with the history of that. Been a long time. Personally, I'd like nothing better than to be done with it. Other than that, I have.
That was the park manager that said that.
I don't have any questions?
All right, with no questions, we'll turn it over to our CEO.
Okay, so starting Canal Side with the water projects. As we know, Lubella sent the map plan report and those serve letter to the water district in January. We're waiting for reply on that. We're expecting a favorable reply, but it is taking some time with their consulting engineer. Second, with the Canal Side Water District formation in the town of Fort Edward, it was approved at the town board meeting on March 9th. Public hearing occurred just prior to the vote. No comments. Kara and Liz and I were there already for comments and questions. There were none, but anyways, that's life. Really And of course- expected some? What's that?
You really expected some?
Well, there was at least, 20 people in the room? Anyways.
The one time you don't get ready,
Yes.
Exactly. That's why we're.
or you get ready for everything that they don't ask, and then, yeah.
Yeah, so many thanks, Kara, for shepherding the process, because you didn't have to work that through the town. Kara, anything to add as far as water district?
We're all set up with that, and the agreement between the town and the village is gonna be on the agenda in April for them to approve that.
So the project development agreement? or
No,
with
the water
agreement?
agreement, yeah.
And they're gonna charge us their standard fees, I take it.
Mhm.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic, Labella Engineering has evaluated options for replacing the aged water pipe under the East Street Railroad crossing. The situation is complicated by sandy and wet underground conditions that are not perfectly understood. Labella has suggested the installation of a temporary groundwater monitoring system and a physical inspection of the pipe. This has led to the recommendation for two-phase construction. First phase is a replacement of the East Street water pipe up to the railroad crossing. While we're doing the construction, we'll inspect the pipe underground. And then the second phase will be the replacement of the pipe under the railroad after inspection and after further engineering review. Mr. Bruno and I believe this is very prudent given the uncertainty of the underground conditions and the time-consuming railroad permitting process. If we wait for this process, then we won't construction for the pipe replacement in 2027, and we want to get going in 2026.
In a perfect world,
If the replacement becomes necessary.
fight under the railroads, it's such a semi-monumental undertaking. If we can get away without that, based on the findings, the inspection, like, yada, yada. And that would be a great.
Yeah, so we won't have a phase two then.
Right.
Fingers
We won't
crossed.
know.
Fingers crossed.
Planning for the worst, hoping for the best.
The pipe has been scoped and now they're gonna do physical viewing instead of internal scoping.
No,
or-
we didn't camera that
I didn't
section.
camera that.
Because-
That was with the sewer. This is the water line.
Yeah,
And they have some old drawings. They kind of think they know what's going on, but there's a lot of things underneath there. There's water, there's fiber optics. And we have to get underneath everything and they got sandy conditions. So Labella is very nervous and they're also pulling some outside experts to do for drilling. I mean, it's a pretty intense situation.
But the existing water pipe, that we're referring to, and that has not been cameraed, has been inspected.
okay.
The problem is, if it's badly tuberculated, familiar with pipes that are tuberculated. Kinds of,
Mhm.
if it's bad, then you put a camera in there and it gets stuck.
Worse.
You're
No.
stuck. Well, then you have no choice, but, we inspected and determined that, yeah, the camera could make it through there. And, that section of pipe may not be a problem, leaving it there. That would be the best scenario. Most economical.
But someday it will be,
But
but someday it will be.
that won't be our problem.
Well, you just don't know that for sure.
Oh, yeah, we won't be, we will not be owning that site. So if we don't own it, not our
Is lateral
problem.
drilling
Would they be
too
an
risky
environmental
there?
report
Going
that
deep
would be
enough?
provided to the purchaser that shows maybe how much is over there, I guess,
An environmental
or
report.
whatever
It
it
would be
is.
a report,
Yeah.
an evaluation.
They
Okay.
reviewed it.
Yeah, but familiar with the
If we
equipment,
leave it.
how to get it clear, right?
So what you're worried about is getting under it. You could wreck everything because you don't know what
All right,
level it's
bring it
at
back in
because
here
of
real
the
quick.
sand.
Make sure everybody can speak loud enough that we can get you on the recording. All right, continue on.
Okay.
Then we'll start with that.
Question, if we have to replace the pipe, we have to go deep enough to miss all of those existing
Right.
utilities. So that puts us deep, and the soil geotechnical report indicates that may not be good scenario, good because of the soils. and
To drill
the
through it.
Water and all that, because it's very fluid, so to speak. It just makes it more difficult, but that remains to be seen based on the geotech report and also the installation of monitoring wells. You're all familiar with monitoring wells?
Yes.
So, there's still some investigation to be done, et cetera, and that's why we chose to stop the pipe and the installation before the railroad undertaking, if you will. We can get the pipe in up to there and then deal with that later, because it's more lengthy.
Any more questions? We're okay. We'll report more next meeting, no doubt. The fourth item on the water is that Labella is addressing the village project development agreement presented by the village attorney Matt Fuller. Labella and Kara are embedding the village requirements in the water project manual. So far, I think it's going okay, right? So that's it on water unless there are any further questions. Okay, on the new sewer connection. As far as connections to Washington County Sewer District, Labella is designing a low-capacity connection from canal side to the East Street sewer line. The sewer district is conducting an in-pipe camera inspection of the existing sewer line that runs along East Street, Baldwin Avenue to Notre Dame, and then to the treatment facility. On February 11th, the line inspection was hampered by heavy sewer grit and roots. The inspection was then rescheduled to February 24th and 25th with a pre-inspection heavy cleaning operation. The formal inspection report will be issued soon. However, informal observations were that the pipe was severely compromised by roots and has two locations where the pipe is partially collapsed underneath some old railroad line. Like, a little bit more interesting. So the district is looking into spot repairs, and it is likely that the old sewer pipe will need some slip line reinforcement. We're just not sure how much might need to be done, nor are we obviously sure of the cost yet, so there'll be more to do. But there is upward pressure on costs, there's no doubt. And then you might recall the proposed new sewer line connection from the industrial park to East Street runs across WCC lots. WCC has informally suggested selling the lots to the IDA and is initiating an appraisal so that we can have discussions about acquiring those lots, which frankly makes a lot of sense. It's also the same lots of current water line lots. So this all makes sense for us to acquire that land. That's it for sewer, unless there are any questions. Okay. For the East Street entrance road modification, New York State DOT has provided minor second round design modifications that Bob Holmes has incorporated, and the design drawings are finally complete. Labella just today received the work permit from DOT, so we're free and clear with the DOT. I will say, however, the design modification that the DOT has requested will trigger a construction change order, and we're currently waiting for the construction company to get back to us with the change order. The construction, as you know from prior board meeting, was awarded to WMJ Keller and Sons Construction Corporation for $262,000. Administrative matters such as prevailing wage certification, certificate of insurance, safety plan, and construction contract have been finalized. And of course, Karen and Bob Holmes are very helpful. So we're all set with Keller and Sons. The last remaining issue is the Canal Corp work permit. The application is complete and was submitted to the Canal Corp Albany office. We're striving for Canal Corp approval in mid-April. Construction is planned to start May 1st and is expected to be completed by June 30th. And finally, as far as the Lock 8 bridge replacement itself, it's targeted to start July 1st. However, there are rumors there might be delay with steel delivery, so that might get pushed. That project might be pushed more into the fall. And then as far as natural gas supply, National Grid has said they can accommodate a natural gas connection after a 2027 reinforcement under the existing nearby gas main line. On May 4th, there was a meeting with National Grid Engineering to advance conceptual engineering with the goal of connecting two existing canal side buildings and having additional capacity for further site development. More to come on that. Then there's NEPA, and I reported that we were doing NEPA for HUD funding. The draft NEPA form was sent to the village mayor on March 3rd for signature. After signature, the village will provide public notice of the inspection of the bill line 2. And then finally, the last item is the assessment for canal side. As previously reported, the two park lots are assessed for $10.3 million. The 2005 appraisal value as is only $5 million. On March 5th, the executive committee approved the following. First, the submission of a complaint on real property. It's called RP 524 form. We did one form from the village, one form from the town, with backup with the appraisal and actually a letter from our real estate agent talking about the impact of the overly appraised value or assessed value. And so that's the first step. Then I'll be meeting with the assessor after the tentative assessment was issued by the end of April. And then if necessary, the board, the committee approved me going to the grievance date on May 26th. I have informally met with the assessor. I think she's pretty firm on her stance, so I suspect we'll be unfortunately going to grievance day on May 26th.
What is her stance? What is her
She-
stance?
She believes that the value should be
Right.
higher. Yeah, so, and she's putting together her story, and we're having our story, and we'll let that committee decide on grievance day, which way they want to go.
Have they hired an outside appraiser as well?
They talked about it, but I was losing action through. Anything to add to it?
No,
Okay.
we've got the documentation current of what that the site is appraised at. And real estate agents that will are telling us what the site can sell for, and this board has listed that site at the appraised value, so.
And the other thing to soften the blow, as soon as the site's sold and there's some investment, there's going to be a reassessment of the site. So the relief we're looking for is really short term, and a little bit the optics of the buyer, which matter.
Absolutely.
So hopefully people will understand. So, hate to have to do this, but it's the right thing to do on behalf of us trying to sell the property.
And they have a completely different perspective because they don't know it's gonna sell. And it's a big concession. If they do 20%, they generally, in a property like this, they're gonna be, oh, we're giving you so much. And it's not I've been through the process. I know what you're gonna be going through.
It
And
should be fun.
and it has been off the tax roll since 2017, so.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
We will see. Cautiously optimistic. Okay, well, thank you. As far as canal side maintenance update, I talked previously about the vegetation control. Mr. Bruno and I will be recommending the rental of brush hog late spring and to then be rented again in late summer. We are collecting verbal quotes and we'll be coming to the board, the April board meeting for approval to go ahead and rent the brush hog. And then as Mr. Bruno reported, we had the canal side East Street valve house water break that I reported on just the end of the last meeting. The water date break occurred the day before that board meeting. We discovered that the heating system failed. What happens, it's a pipe that's a large pipe, 8 inches underground. It comes to the surface because it has a backflow valve. And if it backflows, it needs somewhere to go. So they had to bring it above ground. When you bring it above ground in winter, you got to put heat in the winter. So the heating unit failed, the piping froze, and then when it got warmer, it burst, and we were having 200 gallons a minute flowing out. The village quickly turned it off. But this has actually turned into an unexpected positive situation. That backflow valve was there because the GE facility and everything they're doing. We're envisioning not as much industrial or actually any industrial water activity on site. So we talked with the village and the Department of Health to eliminate backflow valve and bury replacement pipe underground. Everyone agreed. We got it all in writing. And we then had a proposal from DA Collins to emergency repair. The repair, if we had to do it, replacement kind is $50,000 because these valves are expensive and all the construction work necessary. For eliminating valves, eliminating the valve house, burying the pipe, we were at $31,000. So the executive committee approved it. Work started past Thursday. It was completed Friday. I just toured the site an hour ago and it looks great. So we're all done and water's going to the site. And this was very important because our fire hydrants were down and our tenants were obviously needing water. So it was very happy now. So that's it on the water main grade. And let me see if there's anything else. That's it on the maintenance of the site. Any questions?
Your optimism, I thought you struck gold or oil or something.
Oh, it's just little things, you know, they matter, they help. So anyway, Mr. Bruno talked about our tenants. I will not repeat anything there. And then that's it on canal side. Before we go to the airport industrial park, any questions about or comments about canal side? As far as the airport industrial park, as we know, we approved the sale of the 26 acres, what we call the Ferguson land extension to Robert Sears Tree Experts. They have since, and that's contingent upon DEC approval of necessary wetland permits. The majority owner, Bill Hafner, has drafted a site concept plan and is engaging the town of Kingsbury and the DEC. Mr. Hafner has also expressed interest in a potential IDA investment incentive. On February 27th, I met with him, provided the application, and explained that Kingsbury would be formally involved in the fluid process. So I was able to come up with some pro forma numbers, and he's going to talk to the town supervisor to see if the town supervisor will be supportive or not. If the town supervisor is not supportive, and obviously we'll move forward. If he is, then we'll move forward with the formal application. And that's it on airport industrial park, unless there are any questions.
Yeah. The, what group? The land that was going to the group, did that get finalized?
The Rotary Group,
Yes.
they're a little slow right now.
Okay, so that's why we weren't here
It's
next time.
still on the table. I didn't report on it because there's really nothing new.
Yep.
So we gotta kind of nudge them along a little bit and see what they want to do.
And is that the only two parcels that are left?
Correct.
That's
Once we're
great.
done with Ferguson Lane Extension, all we will have is that one 20-acre heavily wetland impacted lot. That was a lot that we combined other lots a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So that'll be it.
It's good to give them time, but in a few months, if they haven't moved, we will probably be sending a
Right.
letter to the neighbors to see if anybody wanna protect, some of the companies there that have, that butt up to that parcel.
Sounds good.
And that's it for my report. Thank you.
Great. Anything else? Any final mulligans on Canal Side Airport Industrial Park before we move on? All right, moving on to ongoing business, 7880 Main Street closing update. Kara, please.
So their refinance took place a couple weeks ago, and so that's been completed. And I gave Ally your admin fee today.
This is Main Street where
It's across from
Queensbury.
Yeah.
Hudson Falls.
Right across from that Arndale.
Queensbury.
I know, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice if they had a little more identification than Main Street USA. I don't mean to be a pain.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's not Elm Street. There's only one Elm Street, right?
Yeah,
I think that that's the name of their company. That
Yeah.
They also,
LLC, yeah,
Uh,
got it. All right, we can add some details on that.
Alright.
All right, any other, anything else for that project?
What was the fee amount?
the IDA's fee is $300 as set by your fee schedule.
Right, moving on to exit 19 lodging closing update. Kara.
Everyone is telling me they're gonna try to close this by the end of the month, so I had you sign documents.
But it's coming quick.
But yeah, so we'll see, but we're ready to go when they are.
Right. It's 2 weeks.
And this is,
And if it slides April, that we're okay.
this is the Hilton Hotel, or which one's this?
This is
This is-
Suites, right?
Marriott.
Sweet.
Council.
They don't know.
Oh, Marriott.
Suite, Marriott.
The same guy owns both the Hilton and the Marriott product.
Which is fascinating because franchise brands in the fast food industry won't let you do that.
Well, the
The hotel
hotels are
brands
very,
do.
they do quite a bit, even, yeah.
When do they expect to have that built? I mean, we're just looking at the closing now, but
Well, they've been gearing up. They've gotten through the planning board. They're getting their engineering, and they also already did the work on the home too. Remember, we also
Right.
approved it. So they wanted to get that done first. So I think you'll see.
they're gonna kind of share the parking lot, right?
Yeah, so I think you'll see them move fairly quickly.
That's what I would expect.
All right, any additional ongoing business? All right, moving on to new business, we'll have Kara give us a back history on the North Creek, New York Resort LLC tax extension request before we go on to talk about the resolution.
So their sales tax extension, was extended through the end of this month. And they've asked for another extension through the end of July, which will get them to their grand opening.
Grand opening.
Their grand
They're
opening.
open now, but
So-
it was sort of a soft opening.
So no changes in the dollar amounts of the project or the exemption, but just an extension of time.
And the sales tax is only on the, whatever they're building with. They still have to pay sales tax and everything else.
Yeah, whatever they're
I
fitting.
just want to make sure that.
Yeah. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to accept the resolution taking action extending the project completion date and authorization for sales tax exemption to North Creek, New York Resort Holdco LLC as agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing and equipping the project facility. Brian, second. Mark. Sorry. Connor, I got you. All right, with that, let's open it up for discussion.
He's like, which one's the one of us?
Them bankers all look alike. All right, open it up for discussion. Anything for anybody? All right, no discussion. We'll do a roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell.
Yes.
Ian Bruno.
Yes.
Connor McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yersha.
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Moving on to New York State Economic Development Council sponsorship. Chuck, please.
So as reported in the past, Mr. Gonzalez and I go to a lot of different conferences with New York State Economic Development Council. They typically seek sponsorships for organizations, and they typically get probably about 40 to 50 different sponsorships. We have never done a sponsorship, so we're thinking it's now time to step up. We really do benefit for the organization. The sponsorships range from $1,500 to about $15,000. We're suggesting $3,000 for their annual meeting, which will be in May. So we're hoping the board supports us doing the sponsorship to an organization that frankly does a lot of benefit for us with our training, and also we get in a room with other IDAs and are constantly sharing best practices. So we are finding a very worthwhile organization and want to show some support.
And this falls within the budget that we approved last year of sponsorships for the year. Yes, sir.
Does it move around or is it always held in the same place?
The annual meeting typically was Cooperstown, but the other meetings will move around.
IDA academies move around, the annual meeting stays in Cooperstown.
I mean, I would think we would. I mean, I don't have a problem with this one, but I'm thinking like we would wanna like support, like if it was at the Queensbury or something, when it's in our area. I think that would be more
Yeah, they
important that we
typically will do like
do something
Albany,
like that.
Syracuse, Cooperstown, because people are traveling from Montauk, Buffalo,
City.
Bologna. So they're all conversing. So they try to get to a little bit more of a central location. We're frankly a little north.
Although,
Did they ever do the Sagamore? I know sometimes Albany.
AG, the Association of General Contractors did, but I have not
Yeah.
seen, since we've been going, they
We've been
haven't
going.
been close
Well,
to us
maybe
other
if-
than Albany. Is it?
if we do this, maybe they will. That's what I'm thinking is. You know, it would be nice if it was,
Absolutely.
you know,
I'll put a plug in.
no, I think it's a good idea.
Come north.
If we're gonna do this, we should get some benefit to the region.
I'm not sure $3,000 sponsorship will get us there, but we can start that. We can start the plug. Absolutely.
Worth a try.
And compete against the big IDAs, all the legal firms. They're doing the 15,000.
Well, they're probably bribing. We're not.
Let's say neither party. Nobody, no, that's a bad word.
But you said you were behaving.
Get your right.
So are we okay with that, Mr. Gonzalez?
Do we need an extra vote since we?
I would think spending money, yes.
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay. 1 second before I get that task written down. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the New York State Economic Development Council sponsorship of $3,000. Connor, second. Melissa. Any further discussion? All right, we're spending money. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell.
Yes.
Ian Bruno.
Yes.
Connor McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Tall.
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yersha.
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. All right, any additional new business before this board? All right, moving on to staff reports. Our CEO, please.
Okay, so my report from February 18th to March 16th is the following. I am going to skip over things I've already talked about. There's several meetings and things I've gone to that I've already talked about. Let me go to February 26th and point out that Mr. Gonzalez and I went to the Arts Culture meeting with Warren County EDC and leaders of our organizations to talk about economic impact and opportunity analysis. There's more to come in this. It'll actually be a presentation that we'll probably do for the next board meeting. So we're working with these groups to sort of shape this initiative, and frankly, just more to come. Then on February 27th, I met with Sharon Horton, who's the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity for Warren, Washington, Saratoga counties. She was interested in how we could help in the housing realm. And so we had a good information sharing session. I talked about Bill Hafner, talked about National Grid. On March 3rd, I toured Native Development, 40,000 square foot expansion for an electrical manufacturer. The building looks great. And also the nearby building, which Capital Region Company moved into, the cannabis company that moved to Washington County to Queensbury because they needed more space, substituted for the booth, booth business that was Native Development was going to bring it for California. It didn't come, and then the building sat empty, and then they brought in the cannabis company. Anyways, amazing seeing this cannabis company and all of the technical advances they have in their machinery, their packing, their labeling. It's quite an impressive operation. They're now in 45 people, as expected. So you go to the parking lot and it's just jammed. So that was a very, very interesting tour.
Does that mean we're striving higher in Washington County?
Well, the space they were in was tiny. They just had more space, quite honestly, but I get what you're saying. All right. So on March 5th, I participated in what's called the East End Rising Committee that met in Abraham Wing School for Brownfield Redevelopment in Glens Falls, Ward 1. Includes Lehigh Cement, which is both in Glens Falls and in Queensbury. So hence, that's why we're participating in that initiative being led by Labella. And they're doing a great job. So there's more to come on that, but that will be a long process. Then the next day, I participated in the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board Brownfield Coalition, which is 5 counties: Warren, Washington, Essex, Hamilton, and Clinton, where the Regional Planning Board secured some funding from the EPA for brownfield inventory analysis. And this was a kickoff meeting. The Regional Planning Board, have hired Weston and Sampson. So this was our first meeting with Weston and Sampson to sort of kick off with all the IDAs and starting the inventory process, which will fit well with what we're doing, because as the inventories are figured out, then there might be opportunities for things that we can help with in years 2 or 3 years. So more to come on this. You got to do inventory first, and this will be, I think, a very worthwhile effort that the Regional Planning Board has already secured the funding.
Can I jump in there as
Please.
well? So if anybody's read the RFP or gone to their site and dug into what they're doing, I think each county, that the goal is by 2030 to have 3, if I read that correctly, 3 brownfield sites fully evolved in. So brownfields is a very slow marathon. And if everything works out perfectly, each county will have 3 sites that are no longer brownfields that are fully back into commercial use and go from there. So us having our own funds that we've committed to brownfields makes sense, because you're gonna have to have multiple organizations trying to figure out how to get more sites in. Because if you took 3 sites every 5 years, we'll all be compost for the flowers before we make a huge dent in Warren and Washington County. So they're doing phenomenal work. We continue to support them as much as possible, but for us to be able to also be into brownfields, it's much needed, and the counties have their own initiatives as well. And so we need as many hands as possible into brownfields. And then if it makes sense in 3 to 5 years, rally everybody together and figure out if one entity is enough to get these brownfield sites. But it is a long, tedious, some of the counties, if you look on that RFP, have hundreds of brownfields in their counties, 100 plus. And if you were to take 3 every 5 years, our lifetime, we won't make a dent in that. So yes, we are, our budget of 25,000, we do want to spend it. We do want to create some initiatives ourselves, and we want to support the Regional Planning Board and what they're doing as well. But it is, once that inventory comes out, don't be surprised if the number of brownfields in Warren and Washington County exceed 75, 100. So we don't know yet. That's why it is fascinating.
The
and it's
project
amazing.
can take 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They're not, 3 to 5 made it sound good.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be near perfect, and so
If anybody's aware of specific sites in either Washington County or Warren County that want to be identified for this in advance, they are asking for any advance ideas. The inventory will probably flush everything out, but if you know something specific, we can point Weston and Sampson to specific sites.
I think the county treasurers would have the best idea of lands that are pulled from the ones that we won't dare touch.
Regional planning board already contacted treasurer and he already provided a list of all those properties.
I mean, cause there's ones we won't touch and take because of the tax liability, because.
Be nice to it next door.
Hmm.
But that's a big cahoon.
And I know last year,
This one?
Greenwich had a.
Is it that way?
This one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I get disoriented sometimes.
No, that's the lot nobody talks about. But
Nobody
I know Greenwich last year produced up on their, one of the newspapers, there was a list of brownfield sites and it was extensive in itself. And so, Chuck will,
We have one right over the border in Warren County too, right?
yeah.
Decorah, right?
The query is on
The Lehigh,
Lehigh.
Heidelberg, the cement factory next to
No, I'm thinking the one before that where Siva Geige and them
them.
were,
Yeah, but that's now a solar field,
it's all solar field.
all solar. It's amazing. You drive by and kind of peer over the chain link fence, nothing but solar panels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Will that purify the soil too?
No, it's
Yeah.
temporary. Yeah. Anyways,
Well, go ahead.
What is the timeframe to identify the inventory for brownfield?
this year,
It's this year, that's
Yeah,
what.
but-
Okay.
Well, there's so many that are identified, it's just finding out who identified them. Yeah.
Remember, it's 5 counties, so it's gonna be quite a comprehensive. And they're gonna do everything from gas stations to industrial sites. So it should be kind of interesting. And then we can start the evaluation process of what might be worth getting involved in, and may not be worth getting involved in. We're a small group, so it's not like we're gonna.
And we had
have
one,
10 sites.
we had success here in Washington County, working actually with Fort Edward, where Price Chopper Market 32 is. There was one that we made an agreement with them and they did all the work and they got the grant and
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 developers,
now we have a store that otherwwise we would never have had.
it's a great example.
That's as good as it gets, something like that.
In the identification, information we get back, is it just the addresses or do they give us any kind of background on, hey, this is the light work that might need to
They
get
got
done? Or
money for phase 1 work.
Okay.
And if I recall right, maybe 20 phase 1s in each county. So they've got some funding that they can do some initial phase 1.
We may have some that the phase ones are even done, is why we didn't take them.
Correct.
So,
Correct. So it's very comprehensive. And
Yeah.
Weston Sampson, they're the same group that did the evaluation canal side.
yeah,
Everybody's seen that report. They do good work. I was very impressed with the 2 people in the meeting.
we're more used to Smith and Wesson over here, but it's okay.
Speaking of gun companies, we did connect with the Herkimer County IDA team, who is might be one of the leading folks on brownfield redevelopments, and they have a conference that Chuck should be attending this year.
Yeah,
I think
They-
it's in spring.
they're really leading the pack of IDAs around New York State. They're
They do a hell of a job.
they do a really good job. And so I met the CEO or executive director. He's very nice. He's been mentoring me. He says he's going to retire in a couple of years, so I have to get the mentoring in quick, but he's a great resource. And I even think after he retires, he'll be a good resource.
He's willing, he's ready for us to visit, and when you open the book, so when we get ready to do brownfields, we've got another great source to go to.
Yeah, it's kind of like doing canal side, except 30 site. Think about it, clean up and then do what we're doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, more to come on that, but this so far, the kickoff meeting again was very good. On the 6th, I attended the ARC Walter Junket Award Ceremony for Jacqueline Tuba. That was very well run and very well attended. A lot of us were actually there. Actually, on the 11th, I attended Mike O'Connor's funeral in Glens Falls. He, as you might recall, had a lot of history with the IDA and Canal Side. And that was a very well attended funeral. Talked about the Fort Edward assessor. That's it. So let me then transition. In your package, there was a letter of support. Every once in a while, we get pinged for entities that are looking for grant funding. Fortunately, they provide a template. We take the template and customize it a little bit. So we just wanted to alert you that we did do this one support letter for the sale and transportation alternative program support. It was with the sidewalk project. We do about a dozen of these support letters.
Chuck, how far along is that all the way out to Hudson Headwaters' new site? This,
Yeah, from where to where?
I tried to bring it up on the map. Is it a
You
sidewalk?
can
to
walk that
nowhere,
far, you
or-
don't need
yeah.
the health network, you're in pretty damn good shape.
Yeah.
That's a mile or two.
Yeah.
But then you gotta go back.
Yeah, I see, like,
I don't critique these.
understood. I looked it up. Nobody, like, he can't figure out where the sidewalk's going.
Yeah, I
Must
wondered
make
that
it to the
myself.
pond while they're at it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
maybe it does.
if you just follow the yellow brick road, you'll get there.
Okay, so moving along, as far as the engagements, not just meeting perspective, people who are looking to grow businesses in the area. Year to date, there's been 12, 4 in manufacturing, 1 in tourism and recreation, 6 in housing. You're gonna have a lot of interest in the housing side. And 1 in other. Of the 12, we have 2 that will probably do an application 2026. We have 1 that will probably do an application 2027. We have 7 that are unknown, 2 that will probably not submit an application. As far as the pipeline list, we currently have 18 in the pipeline. 5 in mixed use. We have 6 in housing, 6 in housing. We approved 3 last year. We have 3 in hotel and resort. We have 4 in manufacturing and distribution. Of those 18, 3 are actively working on their applications. 7 are going to possibly start working on the application. 8 are still exploring, and there are at least 10, over 10 that have decided not to move forward with their project for one reason. This list, as you think about it, we were talking about the financials earlier. Last year, we had a lot of beginning of the year. This year, I'm predicting we'll have a lot on the second half. Maybe not 8 like last year, but it has been slow, but there are applications being worked on that I expect to come in the second half. And finally, the last thing, there's a handout on the right. We want to talk about our LinkedIn efforts. We this past year have increased our followers by about 150. We currently have 269. This is a consumer analysis report that comes from LinkedIn. And what I thought was really interesting was the fact that it is saying that about 77% of our audience is in senior or leadership positions. And we have a highly regional audience of small businesses, growing regional companies, and mid-sized organizations. You'll also see on the sheet here, there is a follower by region, and that's one we expect. Majority of our followers, 227, are from that region. And then further down, there's a breakout according to industry, and you can see it's quite diversified. We go from 3% in other up to a peak of 17% for government and nonprofit. Finance, banking, insurance is behind the 16%. So we're well diversified. We'll have more to report on this at our next meeting. Our current summer or social media intern is getting near graduation. We're in the process of interviewing for a new person. And with a new person, we'll bring in some new energy and some new ideas. So, Allie, anything to add on to this?
No.
We meet with our social media intern every couple of weeks, typically on Zoom, although we're having a meeting this week. So we're moving along, but we now we sort of plateaued, and now we want to kind of make another jump. So we're going to figure out strategy, maybe encompass those who are on LinkedIn to help us get more followers. So more to come on that. A lot of it's boiled down to content. You may have seen we just did a big splash about CHPE. And when that goes live, we'll do another splash. So a lot of the trick here is finding good content. That's what we're constantly looking for. You might notice see LinkedIn, they're starting to link up with other organizations that they partner with. So that's a strategy that we might talk about with our social media in terms of further advance our profile in the LinkedIn build. And that's it for me, unless you have any questions.
All right. Any questions for our CEO? Just a final point on that 2450 linear feet is about 8 football fields for that sidewalk.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
When is I'm assuming it's not done yet, FWWIDA. I mean, it was going fast, but I can't believe it's done yet.
The building is completed. They're just doing internal stuff. You may have seen from our 25 highlights.
Yeah.
That was an aerial photograph that was taken this winter. I believe I toured with Steve Springer and Tim Barber, Native Development. I think they said they'll be opening this June, July. So it's coming quick. they're anxious to get out of their current space, which, as you know, they're very cramped.
Very great, yeah.
So I expect that we'll be invited to the ribbon cutting.
I think it's good for us to see what we've accomplished,
Yeah.
or help them accomplish, I guess is more important.
Maybe that's what you're getting at. We will put that on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Get some extra invites to the ribbon cutting.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
great. Moving on to our administrator, please. Ally.
Yes, so we have 3 projects that I've still not paid their town, county, and special district pilot taxes, and 3 projects that also haven't submitted their annual reporting or their sales tax exemption ST 340s. The annual reporting and the ST 340s I need to be able to close out our pilot reporting and submit our ST 62 sales tax exemption to taxation and finance. So I have introduced Chuck to the conversations, hopefully adding a little muscle and trying to get them to speed up their response time. I'm being promised that they're being worked on and will be submitted to us shortly. So more to come on that.
But you pretty much have to have that by April, don't you?
Yeah.
The ST 340s have to be submitted to the state by February 28th from the company direct.
I mean, like taxes and all that, we gotta get paid, so it's. Should we look at that in policy? Well, I know it's clearly stated, should there be a penalty in the policy?
No, your penalty, your option for a penalty is recapture.
Yeah,
So you'd have to bring them back in and have them explain their, I
And
mean,
they're already in a bad spot. You're trying to get it.
we don't know if they're in a bad spot or if they're just not doing it.
Maybe.
Sometimes they're just, sometimes they're not always in a bad spot.
Could be.
Yeah.
So we're late?
we're not.
We're not.
They
Either,
are.
they may have submitted, so the process is they submit directly to tax and finance, and they are supposed to copy us on that transmittal.
But the taxes, that's not the case.
No, with the pilot payment, that's different
Yeah,
situation, yeah.
Right, we're talking about 3 different, like this, we're talking about the ST 340s. These are projects that are still in construction phase where they have sales tax exemptions active. And at the end of every year, they're supposed to report to me how much of that allotment they've used. So I need to make sure they haven't gone over, or else we need to recapture that, which we're running into a problem now. The team is, working on it, and we haven't received an answer yet as far as that goes. So that's not, I can't report anything that I don't have any information on at this point, but they're looking into it. So there's nothing I can do until I get that reporting. I
Is it-
can't submit the Paris report, and I can't submit the ST 62, the IDA reporting of our sales tax exemptions projects.
So do they have a ID number just like towns, and they could overspend and get in trouble with us?
Yes.
That's what you were just kind of referring to.
That's what I need to check on. And every time they report how much they used, I need to make sure that they haven't gone over.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So we'll move it up from phone calls this week. You know, we've been doing emails. Alex, phone calls, now I'll do phone calls. Maybe even go knock on the door too. So we'll keep pushing.
All right, if not, invite him to the April meeting.
There you go.
I have found them.
they're not done by, not,
Yeah,
They're not
I
done
have
by,
found that
they
when,
are to invite him to the April meeting.
when I do request their presence at the next board meeting to explain their status, everything shows. So,
well, I'd send a letter then anyway.
After the phone calls, if that doesn't work.
Yeah, I'd send the letter
invite him to the
to,
April meeting. It'll be a letter.
Part of the phone call.
Or it will be, yeah, make
Yeah.
it part of the phone call. I'd love to hear. Okay.
I didn't know if Ally's done.
Yep.
Oh, just a couple more things. I did want to update you guys on the EFPR audit report. We did get the draft. Chuck and I will be meeting with our bookkeeper tomorrow to go over that and the adjusting journal entries that they're proposing. We want to make sure we understand and agree with it before we get together with the audit and finance committee to pass it on to hopefully the April board meeting. All goes well for approval.
So expect an audit and finance meeting attached to the, what day is that one? The April executive, is that the 1st or the 8th?
You want to do it to the
I think
executive?
that one might be
It's
the
the
first.
first,
if I
yeah.
remember right. Yeah, the first.
I hesitate on any meetings on April Fool's Day, but April first, that way that we don't have an additional meeting, it'll be attached to the exec to help save everybody time and space.
And one more thing, in the meeting packet, I included the list of payables that the IDA has that are a continuous amount we do every month. If you recall, at our last board meeting, we were talking about possible ACH payments before board approval, just to get them approved and paid. And so it looks like we have 4 of them, but there are the credit card and the National Grid accounts. We do have 3 National Grid accounts right now. The pump station should be shut down fairly soon, that are due every month, but the amount varies. And I didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about if these were acceptable for ACH payments, because right now we write checks, we have double signatures for anything over 600. And upon approval of the board is when those checks get sent out.
So credit cards, these are credit cards, not debit cards, right?
Correct.
And you have a recourse to argue against them if somebody has done something wrong. So it's really whether someone has overspent $600 without getting approval would violate our current procedure on one charge.
Well, what happens, Chuck and I, we both have a credit card,
It's only you two.
but it's the same number, you know what I mean? So when I get the statement, I see all the charges, both for the office and anything that he charges. He gives me all the receipts, I save all the receipts. When the statements come, I match up, make sure we have the receipts. The chair then approves it. And then the payable goes into a check, gets a second signature if it's over 600, and it gets
It's
paid.
mostly been conferences, hotel rooms.
Dues,
We had
fees,
one
subscriptions.
thing, Bella, for regulatory fee that they want my credit card, but that project is already approved, so that's covered. So very little activity, quite honestly.
The second view is by the chair, so.
Right.
Yes.
As a procedure, I think it would be perfectly acceptable and appropriate to have this be ACH automatic, since you have it in place. So it's one less thing you have to write a check for.
What about the National Grid 3 accounts?
Right? Same way. Even though they're more volatile than your other accounts.
Yes,
Boy, have they
we
been
would all
volatile.
agree with that. All right, with that, I will,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Ally? Wages and benefits, they stay fairly constant. Do we want to add that as, I know
You mean for
on the automatics?
Employees,
Yes.
well, they get automatically paid.
Okay, so I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
they're-
So that's already automatically being,
Direct deposits
right.
for our paychecks.
if you want us to hold them for,
Yeah.
You know, we talked about having an exception list, and I'm just, now you don't want to have wages and benefits on the exception list. You probably want them on the automatic payment list.
Well, I didn't add it because we're already doing it.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
all right, so with that, make sure I'm correct here. I will entertain a motion to accept the or to approve of the WWIDA monthly bills for ACH payments for the 8 items on the document that Ally provided to us, to include rent, spectrums, CDPHP, 80K tax, First National Bank of Omaha credit card, and the 3 National Grid accounts.
I'll move that.
Charlie, second. Mark? Any discussion? All right, roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Carly Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great,
And that's all I have.
great, Ally, thank you so much. Well, moving back up to,
Exit 19 lodging. I do need to ask for approval to extend their project completion date. As Chuck mentioned, this application came before the board quite some time ago. They waited to do another project first. So their completion date in their application is June 30th, 2026. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So they've requested that we push it out a year to June 30th, 2027. So we just need approval of that for the record.
I'll move that.
All right.
This
So
is-
I will
I'll
entertain,
second it.
got it, all right. So entertain a motion to approve the extension of the project completion date for the exit 19 lodging from June 20 or 30 June 2026 to 30 June 2027. Brian was the first, Charlie was the second. Discussion.
This is for the tax exempt things or everything that, what else impacts their operations that impacts
It's
us?
the construction of their project,
Okay.
so they haven't started construction yet. They're hoping
Right.
to close by the end of this month. But they haven't started yet, so.
When we go into an agreement with someone like this, they have a contemplated completion date. Is that that's the closing window for the sales tax exemption?
Yeah, so that's,
That's really the
Yeah.
reason.
yeah,
So
so
the
that's.
date is
the-
impacting their status for their exemptions. Okay.
Right.
I just wanted to understand.
So, at this point, we haven't closed yet, so I asked their attorney, do you want to come back to us in the June meeting and ask for an extension, or do you just want me to ask for it up front? She did, tell me that all the numbers, everything else in our original approval remain the same. The project cost hasn't changed, the, sales tax exemptions, mortgage hasn't changed, so it was just really the extension of the timeframe.
How does the pilot work? Are they still paying tax like on the vacant? Or whatever?
They're,
So they're paying taxes like they still will on that vacant
Yeah.
part, any of the pilots only on what they had.
right.
So that just doesn't start until they actually do something.
Right, and Queensberry, it'll be until, the pilot won't start until after the CO is issued.
How did they get such a good contractor that will postpone a year and not raise costs? That's, when you-
Speak
They're
to-
both, they have multiple properties, and I think part of the sequencing with, as far as their organization could digest.
Makes
Um,
sense.
And I think he's also waiting for interest rates to fall a little bit. It's kind of
If they do.
very shrewd. Anyways, yeah.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call please, Ally.
So this is for the project completion being moved.
Yes,
Okay.
extension for
1
exit
year.
19 lodging.
Ryan Campbell,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yeah,
Roy,
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Ron Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. Any other business coming for this board? Any public comments? We have anybody from the public online?
We do not.
And we have nobody from the public in person. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Connor, second. Charlie, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.